awful lot of times we just tend to sit at our desk, start working, and just get on with it. But the thing is that you really should take that couple of minutes that it requires to actually assess your workspace, to kind of think about it and to think what you can change. So I always use the example of when people sit in their car. So you know if someone's been sitting in your car and they've changed your chair, they've changed your settings. People often get very angry about this or upset about this, and they will then spend the time to fix it because they know how important it is, they know that they have to get that. But unfortunately, people just don't see their workspace in that same light. What they'll do is that they will actually change their body position to adapt to their workstation rather than the other way around. So in reality, you got to change your workspace and you got to get it to work for you. And that's what's so important. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to kind of show you a couple of really nice little tricks that you can see and that you can look at, and then also that you can kind of see how, well, basically how home working has evolved over the last kind of 12 to whatever months it is, okay? So first thing I'll start with is the chair. Now, an awful lot of times when people start to develop lower back issues, it usually is related to the chair, and in particular the chair functionality. So people sit in a chair that's just not right for them, that's either just not set up for them or just not correct, all right? So many of us got caught when we started working from home with using that chair that was just lying around, that we just had, you know, at home and that I hadn't used in ages, all right? But the thing is that your chair actually matters, because when you sit in it for 8-9 hours a day, 5 days a week, and how many months now, it really does start to add up, all right? So for me, if you do kind of experience a little bit of lower back discomfort when you're sitting down in particular, you really have to look at your chair functions and you gotta go think, right, if I need a chair, if I want a new chair, or if this is something that you've been thinking about, then you gotta look at these things, all right? So I know everyone kind of jumps and they says, of course you need a lumbar support, of course that's what you need for your back, but that's not actually the only thing that you need, all right? So one of the biggest things and one of the biggest influences on our lower back in a chair position is this, okay? Is this kind. Now, this one here, right? So you look at this chair, this is often one of the most hidden features on a chair, but if you are thinking about purchasing a chair and you do experience a little bit of issues here, this is the most important thing. This here is called your seat pan, or it's called your seat slide, all right? So there's a little bit of a function just underneath here, and what it does is it actually slides the chair forward and back, okay? Do you see that there? Now people always think, why is that important? Why is that so essential? What that does is it actually corrects the angle of your hips and corrects the angle of your lower back. So if your chair is too shallow or too deep, what happens is that you'll either end up sitting on the edge of your chair, or that you'll either end up sitting on a chair that's kind of only half supporting you. So you really have to get that right. And having that functionality and that adjustability is absolutely key, because then when you sit into your chair, all of a sudden you have the right space between yourself and the bottom of the chair, and actually lower back angle is much better. Then you bring in your lumbar support, okay, which is this guy here. So the idea behind this is that this can go up and down. Now, I know what everyone thinks. Everyone always tells me, Brian, I really want it high in my back. This is where I want the support. Truth is, support actually comes from the base of your back, okay? It's the bottom of your back that needs the support. And that really goes to the whole idea of good foundations means less work for all of this, okay? So if you happen to have that kind of achy, crackly back that you always want someone to kind of manipulate for you, no, usually you're actually overworking that part of your back, so you need much better support lower down, and that's really important. So remember, mid-backs and crackly mid-backs, they're usually overworked rather than underworked. So kind of get them to do less by supporting them underneath, and that's really important.